Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Tableau Public featured author cohort. I'm excited to present our new faces of the author gallery, and we're going to start alphabetically. And the people in this cohort have been so inspiring to a lot of people, and I'm excited to see so many of these people on here and celebrate it this way and have the opportunity to share their journey with us. So we'll begin with Alice. Alice, I've noticed from the beginning you've been working very hard on a lot of projects and being very active in the community. I'm very excited to see you here. So if you could share a little bit about your journey, I would be excited to hear it. I'm sure everybody else would be as well.
Hi, everyone. It's an honor to be amongst this cohort of Tableau featured authors for April, and I'm really happy to be able to tell people about my journey. I'm currently a health scientist at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. I initially saw Tableau about a year ago at a presentation, and I thought this would be an awesome tool to help us show some of our training and evaluation data that we do. And I advocated to my leadership and just told them the license is for a year, just give me a chance to really start using it and learning it, and I can show the value of visualizing our data to our stakeholders. And they bought in, and a year ago, almost like this month, I got my Tableau license and I started doing some beginning visualizations. I was primarily doing, looking things up on YouTube, following blog posts, and those initial visualizations were really well received. Um, they really helped us get some initial funding for one of our projects that we've been trying to work on for a few years. And just that experience of seeing, like, putting things out there for people in a clear, concise storytelling way, I just wanted to be able to do better. So I tripped up on one of the Makeover Mondays review sessions and was like, what is this? How can I be a part of this? How can I learn? The feedback is excellent, the work is good. So I reached out to a friend of mine and she said, open up a Tableau Public, put your work out there, put it on Twitter, and I will give you feedback. So that's how I joined the Data Fam. And once I started doing Makeover Mondays, I saw there were other initiatives, Real World Fake Data, Diversity in Data, Fizz to Educate, and I just kind of jumped in, and the community was welcome. My work increasingly got better, uh, a lot faster than what I probably would have done on my own. And the community has been awesome. The resources are excellent and warm, and I hope to continue uh, being part of those initiatives and incorporating everything that I learned into my current position.
It's great to hear, Alice. So, what are your favorite, a couple of your favorite resources besides Makeover Monday, as you mentioned, that you like to go to that's really helped you out?
I really like real world fake data. That community initiative is about, building business style dashboards, which is a lot of what I currently do in my job. And being able to do that well is a little bit of art to doing that. And just getting that practice in is really good. And I also love Tableau Tea Break. It's really he collects all these blog posts and information from around the internet of Tableau resources, things that I would have never seen on my own. So you're looking for tips, resources, blog posts, videos you may have missed. He puts it all together and sends it out about once a month. And it's been excellent. I found so many good resources there.
Thank you so much, Alice. It was great to hear a bit of your journey, and I'm excited to see what comes next for you. So
Thanks.
next up we have Alicia. She's another new Tableau Public featured author cohort member, and it's great to see her ascension as well. And she's involved with a lot of different projects and makes beautiful visualizations. So if you could please share some of your story, that would be great to hear.
Thank you, Adam. I'm so happy to be here. So I started using Tableau in my final master internship in March 2020, so a year ago. Before this, I didn't know Tableau. So during my internship, I did a 3 days course with the Information Lab friends. And after the course, I started to use Tableau in a professional context. So I started doing my research on Tableau and discovered Tableau Public and made an account. I spent a lot of time looking at the gallery, fascinated with the creations and other other authors. Yeah, sorry. Thinking that I will want to be like them someday. My first visualization was my resume, and it was in November 2020 when I decided to open a Twitter account to connect with the other authors. I started to participate on Makeover Monday and share my visualization. And it was in January when my piece about dance was chosen as piece of the day. So I was very happy. I like to make a visualization on different topics, and I have several topics in mind. I don't know where to start. That's my problem now. What I like the most about Tableau is the community and the support that exists among all the authors.
So, what are you looking forward to next? What thing do you want to be part of as far as an initiative or working toward, um, um, as far as your next thing you're working on?
I don't know. I don't know. I want to do something about the planets. I don't know. It's, yeah, about the galaxy or something like this, but it's not easy.
Definitely, and there's some great visualizations out there as well. So you should
Yeah.
look them up for if you haven't already for inspiration. But it's quite an awesome thing to show and visualize because it's just oftentimes comes up with such beautiful data visualizations when you're showing planets and how everything works in a galaxy and so forth. So it'll be exciting to see that, and hopefully we have something to look forward from you in the future regarding that. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
sharing your journey. So next up, we have Alicia. She's with the Information Lab, and she's been very active with the community as well as data visualizations and sharing her work on Tableau Public. And all of her work is very well. She's been trained excellently as far as being part of the Information Lab and what they do, and it shows in her work. So I'm excited to see you here and want to hear a bit about your journey.
Thank you, Adam, and I'm really pleased to be here and meet everybody together. But in terms of my journey, I guess I started when I first applied to the Information Lab. So I'm quite lucky to have wonderful colleagues and this training resource with the company. But when I first applied, with the application process, you have to create a visualization on absolutely anything. And I applied by finding some hate crime. In fact, I started with the ethnic disproportionality in the criminal justice system. And the reason I chose that data set was because I studied criminal justice and criminology and then law. So for me, it was really interesting. It's what I spent a lot of my time debating and arguing about. And I thought it'd be really good to make a visualization on it. So I created my first Viz and started using Tableau about a year ago now. And when I did apply, I didn't get in. So after spending all that time learning Tableau, which I really did enjoy, I thought actually I want to give this another shot. And with the information lab, you can apply again. And I did the same thing, but I looked for a new data set that I found interesting. And this time I went for hate crime statistics. And I did actually make it through the process, which is why I'm now here and been able to work with some brilliant people and bounce off of their ideas too. And I've really enjoyed being here so far, and I look forward to learning from others, and especially the community, as we've already heard, is really, really useful. So when I first started using Tableau, I didn't actually have a Twitter account. I then later made a Twitter account and started posting my visualizations. And as soon as I did, I received feedback, and it was quite frightening at first to just get a comment saying, have you thought about this, or something that I had no idea about. And then I messaged the person privately and asked for some clarification, which was always helpful for me, especially because I was new, and I took that. And I realized very quickly that it's not there to make you feel bad, it's there to help you, and you can take it and ask more questions if need be. And yeah, that's my journey so far. And right now I'm just consulting and working on placement. But in the meantime, I do spend time where possible engaging with people in the community, but also trying to build some visualizations where time permits. So my last one was for a Iron Quest and Viz to Educate collab. But hopefully I look forward to spending some more time building some more.
That's a great start of your journey, Alicia, and I really enjoy that you focus on data that you're very passionate about for sharing publicly. Obviously, as you do this for work, the data may not be such a thing where you'd be as passionate about it as far as something that impacts you greatly. How do you approach data differently when you're working with like a business data set that may not be something of a personal passion for you, but you want to create a good visualization?
It's a really good question, actually. And what I started to realize when working with client data and business dashboards in particular is at the end of the day, there is a story behind that data too. That's what got me interested in this job in the first place, because it's not always something that you're solely interested in. But as soon as you start asking more questions, and Tableau lets you do that very beautifully, it lets you ask and answer as many questions as you can with that data, which you may not have initially thought about. And I realized there is a story with that data too. It's just probably not the story that I kind of look for. So with hate crime or ethnic disproportionality, I know I have some knowledge in that area, so I kind of know what to look for, but also when I dig in a bit more, I get even more interested. It is exactly the same thing, but with client and data for businesses too. I quite like assembling a really nice business dashboard, as Alice mentioned with the real world fake data initiative. Really like that there's that useful resource out there. I know at the information lab we had the opportunity to use Mockaroo and mock up our own data sets for business dashboards. So I spent a lot of time curating a HR data set, which I then built into a Viz. And I actually really enjoyed that too. It's exactly the same. in a sense.
And somehow you learn to be passionate about that data as well because you're working to find and share insights with that data too. So it's different data, different background for you, but ultimately the same outcome, meaning that you have to look for something that's interesting to share and interesting to visualize. So you do that quite well. So thank you, and I'm glad that you're part of this cohort. So next up, we have Anastasia. So you're a market analyst, but also like to focus on data relating to human good and so forth, and sharing those data visualizations. And you've been active in the community the past several months or so. So I'm glad to see you're part of this, and I would like to hear your journey.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm really glad to meet you all in person. Yes, I've been working as a market analyst at Chamber of Commerce and Industry for 2 years, and I was responsible for conducting researches for companies in Russia that were planning to export their products in Asian countries. And after a year and a half, I got bored, and I decided I wanted to find new opportunities, how to make my work more interesting. And I met a girl from my school in Moscow, and she now she works at United Nations as an analyst, and she told me about Tableau, about data science community on Twitter, and I looked at her work. They just blew my mind. They were so beautiful and so informative. And I asked her about where and how she learned all of this about data visualization. And she told me about Makeover Monday and other challenges on Twitter. And after 4 months, I think, of consideration, I decided to publish my first visualization on Tableau. And I got feedback. It was something new to me, but it was but I really like the process of creating data visualization because it's a complex process where you search for data, you choose data, then you look for the story inside this data, then you look for the ways how you can convey some message that you want to convey. So that's how I started to make visualizations every week. And what I liked the most about the process that I didn't want to become super professional. I wanted to get better and better with every new viz. So every week I found a new challenge in Makeover Monday, and I thought, okay, what else can I add to my skill set? So this week, what I want to improve my storytelling skills or my design skills or anything else. And that's how I started. And now it's my habit to work every day or to wake up every day, every morning and think what I can learn today. Something small. That's it.
So what are you looking forward to doing the next round? Because you've obviously been very good at implementing the feedback as your data visualizations have improved over the course of the past several months. So how are you going to challenge yourself next?
I don't have any specific plans, but I would love to find something in media. I want to create visualization. I want to work with maps. This is my next challenge. I want to learn everything about maps. And I want, if in terms of my career, I would love to work in media, in data journalism, this sort of thing, to explain complex events happening in the world. That's my goal.
It's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. Next up, we have Dee or Danishki. I've known her for quite some time. Even before I joined the community, her Firebird suite just made waves around the community, and being even shortlisted in information is beautiful. So she's been well known in the data viz community for some time, and I'm so excited to see her as part of this cohort because she's been putting out just amazing work, and more frequently as of the recent months with her affiliation with her data and pushing and challenging yourself so much more. So I'm so excited for you to share your journey with us, Dee.
Hi, everyone. My name is Janushki, but you can call me Dee because that's a lot easier. By the way, Adam, we're wearing matching hats. I just realized that. So I started my data visualization journey in grad school. I went to grad school for applied economics, and I had a data visualization class with Jeffrey Schaefer, who is also a huge name in the Tableau community. And what I loved was data. I loved analyzing data, but I also had this creative itch that I wasn't getting through the other classes that I was doing in my master's, because it's a lot of statistics, there's a lot of predictive modeling, and just, you know, more focused on numbers and analytics. So when I took this data visualization class, my mind was blown that there was this focus on actually making data more informative, more insightful, and beautiful, right? So I took the class. I absolutely fell in love with Tableau that first class. And ironically, now I work for Jeffrey Schaefer, and I work with Tableau every single day, and my love for it is just ever growing.
So I wouldn't say ironically, I would say coincidentally, because your work is really good and it's not really debatable. So coincidentally, you ended up working with Jeffrey Schaefer. But I'm excited for what you have in the future, especially with her data. So going into a little bit of her data, do you have anything exciting lined up in the near future for that?
Yes, so her data is an initiative that me and my colleague and friend Jennifer Dawes created. We, spotlight people in the community with an extra little sprinkle on the women, because we're awesome. But yes, there's a lot of things that are coming up with her data. We have a couple of secrets that I won't, let out right here yet, but there's some fun stuff coming up with her data. We did recently get into TikToks, and that was very fun and apparently popular with the data community, so stay tuned, more to come. But yes, even with just sharing what we do, we also want to keep spotlighting people that do amazing work in the community. So if you guys are interested in getting involved with her data, please do, because all of your work is amazing.
That's awesome to hear. And yes, it's a great initiative, and I'm so happy that you get to share and do more. And it's just it's so well received by the community, even the silly TikTok, which I call adorkable, but but it's awesome.
That's right.
Anyways,
Thank you.
next up we have Francis, and I'm glad to see you're here. You've been putting out a lot of great data visualizations and beginning to become more active in the community. Your data visualizations are quite diverse, so it's fun to hear about your journey and what you're looking forward to do.
Hi, Adam. Hi, everyone. This journey started in undergraduate. My background is in computer science, so I specialized in database management. So my experience was really with creating data structures and the back end of data, but it didn't really ring home to me because I've always been the person who likes to color and draw the cartoons. So database management didn't really reflect the creative side of me. So I've always been one to take classes online. So I was taking a class on Coursera when I stumbled on a reference to Tableau, and then I clicked on it and installed the trial, and for once, I didn't have to write so many codes. I just had to drag and drop, and boom, something colorful and interesting happened with the data. So that's how I fell in love with Tableau, and data started to look more interesting, started to have more meaning, and it was easier to share what I liked about data, and so that's how my journey started. I've particularly been inspired by the Tableau community in the sense that when I saw a viz I liked, I'd download it, then disintegrate it. Oh, how did he do that? Oh, how did he get his name to have a hyperlink, and sift out all the tips and tricks in there. And then I discovered Makeover Monday. But when I made my visits, I didn't feel like they were good enough to be on Tableau Public. So I had a lot of visits that were just in my computer. And then I only started uploading in 2018 when I felt like, okay, this might not be so bad and someone might care about this. So I started making visualizations on Nigeria because I didn't find a lot of people doing that. So it gave me an opportunity to contribute in an area where no one else was doing anything in particular. So I still try to do data visualizations with respect to factors that affect Nigeria and Africa and other communities. And so I was interested in Viz for Social Good when they had the water data set, and I think that's what made me popular because I saw the challenge and decided, oh well, let me try this. I mean, I did one before and nothing happened with that, so I decided to try this one and move things about, and boom, they liked it, and suddenly I had the best bees among all 40. So I guess that's what kind of made me popular. Yeah, so that's basically been my Tableau journey, learning from people in the community, seeking their support. I mean, I failed my, okay, I didn't fail, I didn't do as well as I expected to do in my associate exam. So I got 70 instead of 75, and the community has been so helpful in encouraging me to try again. Oh, it happened to me as well. So I've been encouraged to get back on that horse and study a bit more. So in the future, I'm looking to write the exam, perhaps in 3 months or thereabouts. So yeah, that's been my journey so far.
So with that, knowing how the community supports you, even if not everything we do is a success, not every viz is popular or every viz hits the mark or whatnot, or you can't pass every test. So what have you learned, even though you haven't retaken the test yet, about how failure is okay? It's okay to fail. We can pick ourselves up.
And a lot of advice was in the sense that an exam doesn't define what you know, because I got in there thinking I knew maps, and then I didn't do so well in maps. And I was worried, oh my God, I don't really know calculations. I mean, LODs are still a challenge. And then I got 91 in calculations. And so it's a reminder that the exam doesn't exactly measure everything that you know. You may know some things you think you don't, and you may not know stuff that you think you don't know. So it's been an eye opener in the sense that the community is always there to be able to contribute and support you, but the exam is not a measure of your worth. So yeah, that's what I left the exam feeling. Oh, I can't hear you.
You're on mute.
I'm sorry. I should know this by now. But what I'm saying is that I'm just excited that you can see that and be positive about that, because the next time when you pass, it'll be great and inspirational for a lot of people, because even a Tableau Public featured author may not pass a Tableau exam, but it's okay. You're close and you'll get it next time. And it's great to see how positive you are about it, because I fully expect it to happen for you. So thank you so much for sharing your journey and sharing that as well. So next up, thank you, Francis. So next up, we have Jody. So she's been relatively new to the community, but she's really picked up quite a bit in recent months, working on basically a data viz per week, if not more than a data viz per week. And it looks like we have internet connectivity issues. Sagar, we'll pause for a second and wait for about a minute. And if she doesn't pop on in a minute, I'll move to who's next, Krishma. And it looks like Jody's coming back on. So wax on, wax off. We could start the recording, or here's the editing process. So Jody, I'm very excited for you to be part of this as well. I've seen your rapid session and in recent months. You've been working on a lot of vizzes, getting a lot of great feedback and support from the community. And it's great to see what you're doing with your friends to help elevate your game and push yourself even further. So I'm excited to hear about your journey.
Hey Adam, thank you first of all for having me here. So my journey generally started during the pandemic time when we were working from home, and I was looking for various options to learn something, and then I stumbled upon Tableau e-learning. That was quite a lot famous during that phase. So during that path, I came to know that in Tableau not only we can do the line charts and bar charts, there is a whole new area which we can explore as well. So after that, on LinkedIn, I came to know about the Makeover Monday project. So my journey basically started with that. In October 2020, I started being consistent with the Makeover Monday project. And that was the start. And from then over, I was working daily on the Tableau thing. And it was quite intimidating. And I was very happy with the feedback I was getting. Then this year in the starting, I reactivated my Twitter account because there was a blog from Kevin where he said that if you want to get in touch with the community, come on Twitter. So that was the phase when I actually started interacting more with the community, and I got a lot of feedback and various things, other things like diversity in data project. I participated in that, and I'm looking forward to participate more. Yeah, that's it.
So very shortly, and this will probably be shared after your VizConnect. So is VizConnect going to be your first public speaking session regarding Tableau? And how excited are you about being able to present for a webinar for VizConnect?
Yeah, it is going to be my first public speaking session, and yeah, I'm afraid and a little afraid, and yeah, I'm excited as well for that, and I'm preparing, and it is going to be a very helpful session for everybody, because I was getting questions in my messages that we were working on this and we are getting this problem. So I would be very happy to share my learnings over there.
That's great to hear. And the one thing I learned about our community right away, because I used to hate speaking before. I was a guy in a corner, wouldn't say anything, would look to leave the conference as soon as possible if there's any sort of conference. But the thing you learn about our community is that they're there to boost you up and make sure that there's a nice soft landing space for you. So that's the one thing you feel right away with the community. So if you're afraid of sharing anything or anything with our normally, this community is a different type of animal where it boosts you up and you feel that right away. So a lot of the nerves kind of dissipate shortly after learning that. So I just want to share that with you and share that with anybody that wants to decide whether or not they want to share their journeys or whatnot on a webinar or whatnot, or anything else. That our community is there to help everybody out. So thank you so much for sharing your journey, and I'm excited to see what you have coming up next. So next up, we have Krishma. She's been around for quite some time and does so many great data visualizations, and she does a mix of so many different things. So I'm so excited to hear about her journey. Thank you.
Hi everybody. I'm excited to be in this group, and March 2021 has been super exciting for me. Like, first I started my new job at ADP being a data journalist and a product manager at ADP with the Data Cloud team. And then I got to know that I'm a featured author. So I was super excited that month, and it was just amazing. So my Tableau Public journey started actually at my graduate school in 2018 when I joined Stevens, and I was doing my majors in information systems. But with one of their courses, our professor told us to do something with Tableau. So he gave us the data set, he gave us the data dictionary, and said to make the whole project in Tableau, which I had no clue about, and I had never heard about Tableau before. And I'm like, okay, let's explore. And then we were 4-5 of us in a group, and then we decided to do something, but then we just didn't have enough time to complete the project, so we just dragged and dropped and made something which we couldn't even know how to analyze and how to show it. But then we went around, googled a little bit, and then got to know, okay, this is how Tableau works, and we did something and then finished the project. And that was like my first Tableau Public, like the publishing workbook that I have, which is very crappy, which I look upon to. But we had to publish it there because we had to make like a story point and stuff, like just give a presentation on it for our final project, and we did good and well. And then I was like, okay, I forgot about it, went to another classes, and then I had a class called Discovery in Databases, and there I got to know that we can analyze so much from data. And then I thought about using Tableau again to see how I can visualize and storytell about that data. And I was mind blown to see that something which is just in numbers and fields could do so much better in like visualizations. And I'm like, okay, this is the field for me, since I have been looking upon something which always gives me a creative mind. Since like from the childhood I have been doing art and craft, and I love doing creative things. So I'm like, okay, this is a good field for me. And then I decided to do my specialization in business intelligence and analytics, and I got to know more about it. But since then I wasn't using Tableau that often. But during the lockdown period, I started learning more about Tableau and got to know that there is such a huge community. And with the lockdown going around, I wanted anyways to learn something new, and I was anyways graduating in May 2020. So I thought that this is a better period to start something new, so that I can get a good job and a good career path that I require for my data analysis. And there I started learning, got to know that Tableau has been doing these e-learning courses for free. I did some of the certifications there as a Tableau analyst, and I got to know more. And since I was already on the license period of a student, I renewed it and got and just went on Kaggle for the first 2-3 visualizations, just saw whatever data I could get and just made out a story out of it and started publishing. And then just putting it on LinkedIn, but I wasn't getting so many like views or just a feedback that I needed. And then I got to know from the Tableau, like I started attending the Tableau conferences that are already on YouTube, and I was so thankful for that. I got to learn so many tips and tricks and meeting so many new people there. And from there I got to know that there is such a huge community on Twitter, and I then reactivated my Twitter account, started posting there. And I must say the Tableau community is so warm and welcoming that they just started liking and commenting on my vizzes. And I had so many people chat with me in private to get to know, or just give me suggestions, or if I don't know, I would just go to them and ask them, and they would certainly reply. Like quick replies would come up. And I have met so many people. I started doing like meeting them on one-on-one basis on Zoom meetings. I met Judith, I met Adam, and he agreed to be my mentor, and I was super happy for that. And I still am. Like I if I get stuck anywhere, I just go to anybody's, like Kevin's blog, or just to go somewhere and ask somebody, and I would just get a reply if I'm stuck anywhere. So I'm super happy and can't wait to do more. Oh, Adam, you're late, I think.
I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to unmute. But as far as getting a new job in data visualization and working with ADP, how essential has that been for you working with the data fam on helping you prepare for a new role? If you could explain a little bit about that as far as preparation, getting your portfolio up, and understanding what data visualization is about, that would be great to hear.
Yeah, sure. So for the first, like I was just doing projects which I could find data easily on, and then I started doing more and making my own data as Judith would do. So I would just read an article and I would think, oh, I can make this something kind of an like a visualization about it and tell a story. So I would do that. But then I got to realize that to be in the business world, the fancy visualizations won't work and business dashboards won't work. So I just took like initiatives like like real world fake data, and I did one of the business dashboards, and I wanted to do more. So I had some of them on my public profile, and when I had an interview, people would ask me about my profile. So they would generally go to my profile and just say, okay, this is the Viz. How did you make it? What was the goal behind it? And they would just scrutinize more on the Vizes that I made and what the process was to actually know what was going into my mind to do the data visualization. And then they would get to know that, okay, she knows what the data means and how to get infers and story about it. So that was more of an interview part where I was working with the data analyst. So every company that I interviewed with would go to my public profile and they would be just mind blown, but they would just say that this doesn't work in a business environment. And then I soon realized, okay, I should make some of the business dashboards so that I can refer back to them saying, okay, this is what I can do as well. So that I got to know, so that real world fake data initiative was very great, and it helped me a lot through the interview process. And being at ADP, it's been great. Like the data is overwhelming, so I'm just learning. Like data journalism is something new that I'd never dreamed of about, but it's great. Like I can do my Vizes as well, but I also need to have a story behind it. So it really gives me a good blend of all of that, and I'm learning so much more at ADP here. I'm glad I'm here.
So I just want a quick shout out to Mark Bradburn, as he is the initiative runner, if you will, for real world fake data. And that was, from, in my opinion, one of the initiatives that was missing, because we see a lot of great stuff for data viz design or clean data sets and so forth, but not really business focused. So it's great to have an initiative that's up and running, covering data that's appropriate for business dashboards, because those can be as beautiful as anything else out there. And it's great to see what our community has built as far as the great dashboards, learning from their design from other initiatives and pushing forward in that and seeing that develop as well. So big shout out to real world fake data. I think that initiative is very essential, especially if you're looking for employment. So thank you so much, Krishma. Next up, we have Lisa. Lisa's been involved with so many different items, so it's hard to track exactly where she goes, because she's in, you see her visiting for something different all the time, a different initiative. She has so many things that that apparently inspire her. And I love to see the her portfolio, because it's so, it ranges so widely. You could either have math focused viz, or you could, meaning math design viz, if you will, or something basic that shares the data as in a minimalistic manner as possible, but still be very beautiful. So I'm excited to hear about your journey, Lisa.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm so glad to see you all. So very happy to be here. Yeah, my Tableau journey started about 1.5 years ago. So at that point, I had just finished my PhD. I have a PhD in physics. So it was kind of a point in my life where I had to decide what to do next. So I didn't really want to stay in physics, but wanted to do something new. And so I decided I wanted to work with data, and applied for the job that I now have, which is a business intelligence consultant with InfoMotion. Yeah, and at that time, we were still kind of looking to grow our Tableau team at InfoMotion. And so, yeah, they were like, do you want to learn Tableau? I was like, sure, I'll give it a try. And so I spent the first few months like really learning the tool, the ins and out of it, really diving deep into it, getting the exam done. Yeah, and so I felt like after a few months, I felt like I had a really good foundation. I knew the tool, but I was looking for ways to keep improving and to keep learning. So that's when I really became more involved in the community. And so last year I kind of decided, okay, I'll try to do like all the makeover Mondays and just participate each week if I can make it. Just to consistently put things out there and just to try new things all the time. Yeah, that's what I tried to do last year. And then I slowly became more involved in the community itself and tried some of the other projects that are out there. And yeah, I'm just think it's been so helpful to just consistently try things, because at a job, you know, you kind of tend to do the same things over and over again. So the community for me is like it's a possibility to just see what else is out there and what others are doing and what kind of ways you have to push the limits of the tool and try new things. And that's the really fun part that the community has offered me.
Thank you so much, Lisa. So I learned from personal experience that when you're working and doing work and working with the same data all the time and creating the same type of data visualizations at work, you just kind of get dead and tired. You don't get the inspiration and so forth. So working with the community does provide a lot of inspiration. So how has that inspired you at work as well? So you obviously would take things from the community and apply them at work, and how has that benefited you?
Yeah. I think it's helped a lot. So one thing obviously is really to learn the tricks. So I really feel like I'm able to create much better dashboards, much better visualizations, just because I know how to do things that are not the standard things Tableau can do, but sort of things that go beyond maybe other people can do or newer users maybe can do. Yeah, and then for me, what I'm still learning or what I still feel is a big challenge is really the storytelling aspect of it, which I think connects to if you create like a business dashboard, like we talked earlier, it's still about telling a cohesive story and answering questions you want to have answered. And so that's still a challenge for me, and I think that's still where I can learn from other people, because you can just see so many great examples out there. And that I can take inspiration from and implement in my own work.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Lisa. Next up, we have Rika, and I'm excited to hear about your journey because you come from Japan, and it's great to see Japan represented here as well. So I'm excited to hear about where you come from and as far as what you've been working on in Tableau, and which has really helped aid your journey. Thank you, Rika.
Hi everyone, I'm Rika Fujiwara, and as Adam said, I'm from Japan, and I've been working for a loyalty point company in Japan as a data analyst. Still, in Japan, the data visualization culture is growing, but are minority. But luckily, our company encouraged to use Tableau for employees to visualize our data. So I started to learn Tableau for 2 years ago, and around 1 year ago, I met our Tableau Public, and I was so surprised that there are a lot of eye-opening visualizations. So I've never seen such a great choice. So I wanted to be a part of this great data visualization community and culture. So I started to participate in the Makeover Monday community, and it's a bit difficult to me because I'm not our native speaker of English. So I have to learn English and I have to run Tableau at the same time. But to me, it's a perfect. So I can learn two things at the same time. And nowadays, I have some friends to discuss with our Makeover Monday outputs. Every Monday, we meet together on Zoom and discuss about which point is great and which point can be revised. And it's really fun to share our skills and our ideas. So I love to encourage these sharing our mind of Tableau Public community. So in these days, in my company, still there are less AI engineers. So I want to train some teammates and let them know this great data visualization culture. Yes, thank you. Sorry, Adam, I can't hear you.
This has been my thing today. So if you're on the video and somehow Sagar edited it out, I always put myself on mute and then I start talking instead of unmuting myself. So it's kind of funny. I've done that probably 4 or 5 times now. So if this stays in the video, feel free to leave it, Sagar, because I think it's kind of amusing. We all make mistakes. And I made several today. So, but it's exciting to hear that you're working in Tableau and not only learning the tool, but learning English as you do it. How has that been able to help you reach out and be part of the community that largely speaks English?
Okay. So, so it's difficult, but the most important thing that I believe is to keep in touch with community constantly. So it's difficult to keep it, but if we do that continuously, so we grow. So I believe that I'm maybe I'm not good at English, and I'm not good at in Tableau, but someday we can lead the community. So I think it's good to keep in touch and keep participating in.
I would disagree on both accounts because you're good at Tableau, obviously, because you're a part of this awesome cohort. And also, I had no problem understanding any of the words that you said. So obviously, your English is doing very well as too. So again, thank you so much for being part of this. And I'm excited about how Tableau focuses on their cohorts, providing different underrepresented groups as far as their cohorts have passed several times. So this week, this cohort rather has been focusing on women, and it's great because there's so many. The backgrounds are diverse. Everything is diverse. The countries are diverse. The cultures are diverse. But everything comes together and makes such an exciting and inspirational showcase of the talent that Tableau provides. So I'm so happy that we're able to share this on VizConnect with everyone. And thank you so much for sharing your journeys with us. Have a great day.
Thank you. Can we grab a quick picture before we all leave?